second act of tonight's suspense story, Murder at the Mardi Gras. But friends, right now, during this brief intermission, I'd like you to meet a very distinguished gentleman who has just recently become a customer of mine. And this is the way it happened. His name is Professor Percy, the genius of geometry. Yes, when it came to geometry, our scholarly brain knew all the angles. But when it came to automobiles, he was off on a tangent. One morning recently, he was off to class in a whirl. That is, he thought he was. But unfortunately, when he stepped on the starter, his car wouldn't budge because the battery was dead. And all because he had forgotten to put water in the battery. Well, you see, friends, that's the way it is. Extreme loss of water is one of the major causes of battery failure. So, what our good professor obviously needed was an Lite stay-full battery. The battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. Now, let me show you why it works out that way. You see, in the ordinary battery, small particles keep flaking off the positive plates. So, the ordinary battery has to have a large space in the bottom of the case to hold those particles. Otherwise, they'll get together and short-circuit the cell, just like you see them doing right there. But there's a big difference in the new Lite stay-full battery. In the stay-full battery, every positive plate has a fiberglass retaining mat protecting it, holding the active materials in place. You see, there's the fiberglass, the feature that gives a real advantage to the Lite stay-full battery. Now, whereas the ordinary battery requires this much extra space below the plate, the Lite stay-full battery doesn't need all that extra space. So we can take this extra space and use it to advantage by putting it up above the plate. Now, if we put electrolyte in both batteries, enough to cover the plates completely, there's space left for extra water above the plates in the Lite stay-full battery. But you see, an ordinary battery holds only this much extra water, whereas the Lite stay-full battery with that extra space above the plates holds over 3 times as much water. That gives you over 3 times the liquid protection of an ordinary battery. And that, you see, is why you have to add water to your Lite stay-full battery only 3 times a year in normal car use. Say, here's another fact that I told the professor. In recent tests conducted according to the life cycle standards of the Society of Automotive Engineers, the Lite stay-full battery was found to give 70% longer average life than batteries without stay-full features. That's right. So, why don't you take my advice and enjoy the advantages of more convenience, greater safety, and longer life with an Lite stay-full battery. The battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. Well, sir, after we fixed up our absent-minded friend, Professor Percy, with an Lite stay-full battery, he started out next time without a single worry. Oh, hey, just a minute. Why, Professor. Oh, Professor, you forgot your pen. Well, anyway, Professor, no matter what else you forget, be sure to remember, you're always right with